guys, welcome back to my vlog channel. Today we're doing a bit of time travel back to November 2022. During my 3-month trip to South Korea, I took a short trip to Osaka, Japan just for a couple days. And instead of uploading the vlogs chronologically, I decided to share this vlog after getting all this whole content out first. Though this trip happened in the past, I'll mostly be narrating in present tense, and now that you're up to speed, let's get on to the vlog. This trip took place while I was staying at my Shinsa Airbnb, so I'm catching the airport bus from this area. I was able to track the bus times with Naver Maps and pay the fare with my T-Money transit card. Because Shinsa is the last pickup stop for this route, it was an easy 45 minutes from Seoul to Incheon Airport. We've arrived in Japan and we need to catch the train from Kansai Airport to downtown Osaka. I don't know if this is scientific at all, but I love the way that the sun hits Japan. The atmosphere feels different and everything appears so crisp, if that makes sense. Maybe you just need to experience it for yourself if you haven't already. Anyways, taking a short subway ride from Osaka Station to my hotel. I've been spending quite a pretty penny over in Korea on Airbnb, so I'm staying at a capsule hotel for this trip just to be a bit more budget friendly. After stalking online reviews, I chose cargo because the rooms are more spacious than your typical capsule. They also have separate elevators for the men's and women's floors, which added to a sense of security. Here's a look inside of my room. Extremely tiny, nothing much to it, but perfect if you just need a place to lay your head. It's a beautiful morning in Osaka and our first full day here. Because this is a spontaneous trip, I have nothing planned, so we're just gonna go with the flow, starting with a convenience store breakfast and some coffee near the hotel. Japanese convenience stores, or Conbini, are literally dream spaces for Virgos, perfectionists, and Type A personalities, which I am all three of. The rows are so perfectly stocked and the food options are amazing. I don't know how I'm going to eat everything I want in only 2 days. For coffee, we're checking out Melbourne Coffee. It's owned by an Australian gentleman who relocated here to Japan. Japanese coffee is some of my favorite coffee ever. It doesn't have that sour acidity that Seoul and Portland coffees tend to have. Also, I noticed that Korean cafes are very big on aesthetic spaces and presentation, while Japan is more low-key and nostalgic. Grab my Americano, let's head back to the hotel. I heard somewhere that it's looked down upon to walk and eat in Japan, so we're gonna go back to the hotel lobby before heading out for the day just to be safe. For food, I got 2 of my Conbini staples, onigiri with salmon this time and egg salad sandwich. These are wrapped in a way that helps keep the seaweed separate from the rice until it's time to eat so that the seaweed stays really crispy. So when you're opening your onigiri or your samgakkimbap in Korea, you have to pull the center tab, then pull apart the left and right parts gently. I mean, just listen to that crispy, flaky seaweed. Onigiri is so simple yet so good. I would take this over American convenience store hot dogs any day. Next is the 7-Eleven egg salad sandwich. This is my 3rd time in Japan now, and it's kind of a ritual of mine to eat egg salad sandwich for breakfast. And I always get it from 7-Eleven because after trying all of them, I think theirs is the best. Time jump, I actually spent a couple of hours at the hotel, so now it's closer to noon. Time for another coffee. I don't usually drink this much caffeine, but since I'm traveling, I want to experience as much as I can. And I had just read about this coffee shop in Osaka called Danke that uses butter roasted coffee beans. Japan is such a funny place in that you literally feel like you've stepped back in time. They are so modern yet have such a nostalgic, retro, analog, old school vibe to everything. Anyways, this coffee is not like bulletproof coffee, which is made by blending butter into hot coffee. Instead, the beans themselves are roasted in butter, giving them a really unique flavor with a subtle butteriness. I don't know what I was expecting with this coffee, but it is so smooth and nutty. They have a lot of great reviews online, but I think I like it even more than I was expecting, and I might need to pick up some beans before I leave. I definitely recommend adding Danke to your Osaka itinerary if you're planning a visit. I spent about an hour at Danke trying to plan out my next course of action. Again, I really had no intention of coming to Japan at all, so I'm extremely unprepared. And since I've been to all the major nearby attractions in past trips, I think I'm just gonna stay around this part of Osaka, this downtown touristy area. I know, nothing too exciting, just a minor getaway. Let's go work off the caffeine and stretch our legs around Shinsaibashi and Dotonbori. I want to preface that I'm really not doing anything spectacular this trip, so don't necessarily take this vlog as a travel recommendation video, it's really just a vlog. That being said, one of my favorite things to eat while in Japan is Cremia ice cream. It's made with Hokkaido fresh cream and has a high milk fat percentage, which makes it super soft and creamy with almost a cheesy flavor. Oh, and it comes with a delicious cookie cone, such a good combo. I'm not sure how accessible or easy to find it is, but Excelsior Coffee seems to have it on their menu, so that's where I went. When in Osaka, you have to take a photo with the infamous Glico sign. This area is teeming with tourists. I assume it's the equivalent of Times Square in New York, but you're going to find a lot of street food nearby, and I'd say it's a good place to people watch if you're into that. After walking around debating what to eat, I found this ramen shop. The ratings online were really good, so I decided to take a seat. But first, you have to get an order ticket from the vending machine and hand it to the lady. I totally forgot you're supposed to put your money in first, but luckily there's a sign on the machine written in Korean. I ordered a basic tonkotsu ramen, and the noodles were perfectly al dente and the broth was so rich and flavorful. All the little extras on the side were self-service and just helped complete the dish. For dessert, I got another one of my favorite Japanese snacks, mitarashi dango. These are grilled mochi balls covered in sweet soy sauce glaze, and I think I had these in Kyoto on my last trip, and those ones were definitely tastier, but this one's not bad. There's a mega Don Quixote in this area, so might as well work off the ramen with some shopping. I started putting things in my basket, only to realize that the cashier line is wrapped around the entire store, so abort mission. I have some time to kill, so why not go for another cup of coffee to fuel all this adventuring. A couple blocks away, parallel to Shinsaibashi, is Amerikanbura, which is a bit more hip. Lots of thrift stores and cool coffee shops in this area, but I don't know if it's considered a tourist hotspot or a local spot. It's very Brooklyn but Japanese. I think it's called Amerikabura because they tried to recreate that American grunge vibe. By the way, I am probably butchering all of these pronunciations, so I apologize to all the Japanese speakers out there. Lilo coffee is good, but definitely not Danke level. The butter coffee just left such a strong impression. Killing some time here and letting my phone charge up because I actually have tickets to the TeamLab Botanical Garden exhibit at Nagai Park.
Nagai Line and Kinyu Line 講師の熱い授業で志望大学合格へ次は昭和町ですお客様にお願いします
I've mentioned TeamLab before, but they are a collective of artists, engineers, and scientists that create these amazing exhibits and installations around the world. They always have a few installations around Japan, both temporary and permanent, so I always try to visit at least one while I'm here. The Botanical Garden exhibit is new, just opened in November of 2022, a couple weeks before my visit, and it's now a permanent part of Nagai Park in Osaka. I think this exhibit is centered around the idea of human and nature coexisting, so it incorporates the existing flora of Nagai Park. TeamLab exhibits are beautifully designed and you have to experience it with your whole body and all your senses. No video in the world could capture the wonder and emotions that you feel walking through these installations. So many parts of this exhibit are interactive. For example, someone's movement in another part of the forest will trigger changes around you. And some of the pieces are even meant to be touched. If I recall correctly, I think the idea is that there can be beauty when we acknowledge the existence of others around us. This challenged my mindset because I often catch myself annoyed when there are too many people around, especially at places like this or museums where I'm trying to enjoy something without distractions. Anyways, let's finish walking through the exhibit. I wish you could experience this peacefulness with me, but I will try my best to capture it as best as I can. Before I head back to the hotel for the night, I want to grab a bite back at Dotonbori. Fun fact, I don't like octopus, but I like takoyaki because of the batter and the sauce, so we're getting takoyaki. Also, I think that when in Osaka, and I could be wrong, takoyaki and okonomiyaki are a couple of the must-have local dishes. There are so many stands to choose from, and there's at least one that lets you get a sampler plate of all their options, but I didn't really want to go searching for it. A bunch of Korean tourists were mumbling about how this shop is popular amongst Koreans, so I just hopped in line. Back at the hotel now. There isn't any storage here, so I'm constantly reorganizing my things to keep them all tidy. Because there are bunks, the ceiling is really low, so even when seated, my head is almost touching the ceiling. Gonna go take a shower before it gets too late. If you're sensitive to noise or you yourself are prone to being noisy, I don't know that I would recommend a capsule hotel. There's absolutely no soundproofing and your door is usually some sort of curtain. Quick haul of what I bought today. First, I got these on-the-go drip bags of Danke Coffee. Future plot twist, I ended up accidentally throwing them away when I got back to America, so I didn't even get to enjoy them. Next, I got this 3-in-1 eyebrow pencil thing. I don't even know why I got it, impulsive purchase, but I like how fine the tip is, I guess. Lastly, all the Korean vloggers say this is a must-buy in Japan. It's the Eve brand of over-the-counter medicines. I got the one that is specifically for menstrual cramps, and I will say I do think it works faster and better than anything else I've tried. After chilling at the hotel for a bit, I'm doing a late-night Conbini snack run because we are in freaking Japan. If you think Korean convenience stores are amazing, Japan is seriously next level. I walked right over to this drink fridge where they have rows and rows of Japanese highball. That's whiskey in a can at a convenience store for literally less than $2. It's amazing and so delicious. I would say I could drink this every day, but you might mistake me as an alcoholic, so I'll stop there. Goods acquired, let's go back to the hotel so I can show you what I got. There's literally no rhyme or reason to what I got, I just got whatever looked good. I also got these two drinks, and in hindsight, the choya was not my style, but the grapefruit highball, I think it was highball, was my favorite of all the highballs. Also, these tough gummies are my new obsession. They are tougher than your usual gummy, but so addictive. The combo was good, nothing too spectacular. And I always love me some convenience store fried chicken. It's so simple and good. Word on the street is that the Lawson ones are the best, but I went to 7-Eleven today. Lastly, I got this super jiggly dessert thing. I thought it was mochi, but I think it's straight sugar or gelatin. I don't even remember what it was called, but I ended up tossing this after one bite because it was way too sweet. And that is how I spent my first 24 hours in Osaka. I went back to my room, watched Korea #1 on Netflix, and went to bed. There is a part 2 coming, so subscribe and tune in next week to see day 2 in Osaka.